Hey YouTube, how you doing? I'm really excited here today because not only is it a beautiful day out, but I also just hit 260,000 subscribers here on my YouTube channel. I could not be more thankful to you guys for all the support you've given me over the past 5 or 7 years that I've been on here on YouTube. Never in my wildest dreams did I think that at this point I would have 260,000 subscribers. So thank you very much. Please keep watching. Please keep liking. I really appreciate the support. Now let's get into this video a little bit. But first, quickly, I just want to introduce myself. I am Brad Browning. I have been a relationship and marriage expert for over a decade now. And I've helped thousands and thousands of people reunite and build a longer lasting relationship and marriage. And of course, I've also written 2 best-selling books on those topics. So, needless to say, I like to think that I know my stuff and I know I can help you and your spouse have a happy, lasting marriage. So again, please do yourself a favor, subscribe to my channel so that you get notified every single time I release another video in the future. All right, and that's enough of that. Let's get into it. In today's video, I'm going to cover 5 kinds of texts that your spouse is actually already dying to receive from you. So, typically what happens is when we first start dating a lover, a partner, we usually go through what's called the honeymoon phase. I'm sure you've heard of it. And this is just sort of the first few months that gets, it's often characterized as the most passionate time in really any couple's relationship. And, during that time, you might be doing everything that you can to impress him or her. And of course, in doing so, you'll often make sure that you text your partner that perfect text message every time. Sometimes you'll pour through your keyboard, for 10 minutes just to find the right few words, right? Does that sound familiar? But of course, as time goes on, that sort of dynamic, it changes and you start texting your partner less and less. And the contents of your texts becomes a lot more, stale and boring. There's nothing wrong with that in and by itself. Long-term relationships do change over time. And the kind of bond that you share with your spouse becomes, deeper, more stable, and subsequently, less chaotic and less exciting. But that said, it is important that as this happens, you don't forget to occasionally, excite your spouse in the kind of way that really only you can. And texting is actually just a really easy way to do that. So without further ado, let's get into these 5 kinds of text messages that you should never forget to use on your spouse, from time to time. All right, and the first kind of text message that you should send is the thinking about you text message. I mean, these are just kind of text messages that spouses in long-term marriages really don't send very often anymore. But they can have a huge impact in the way that your significant other views you and thinks about you moving forward. So, for example, you might say something like, "I know I don't tell you this often enough, but I'm so grateful just to have you in my life. I just thought of that today." Or here's another example. Maybe you could say, "I know you're busy at work right now. I just wanted to let you know that I'm thinking about you." Or how about just something as simple as, "I can't wait to see your beautiful face later." Or, lastly, even something really even simple as, hope that work project isn't getting to you, and I hope you're having a great day. And, the great thing about, just texting something like this is it takes 5 seconds to send it, but it can have really a massive impact on your spouse and your marriage right away, right immediately upon sending it. If you don't believe me, just try it out. Give it a shot. Send one of those messages to your spouse tomorrow, today, and you think you'll see how actually effective they really can be. All right, and the second text that you can send is the love text. And this is especially targeted for married couples that don't really, say that L word often enough to one another. So, for example, you could say something like, "I'm constantly reminded every day of why I fell in love with you. Thank you." Or "I'm so thankful that we fell in love with each other. I can't imagine life without you." Or even something as simple as, "I just wanted to say that I love you." All right, I know, it probably sounds really awkward and cheesy when I say these things in this video, but these kinds of texts really do work, and they can really help a lot in your marriage. So do yourself a favor, try one of them out. Or if you think that you have a good love text that you can send to your spouse, please share it in the comments below the video. I would love to hear your feedback, and I'm sure everyone else would like another suggestion as well. And the third text. Now, the third text is an important one, and it's what I like to call the attraction text. Over time, it is normal for a marriage to sort of lose its spark. And sometimes a well-timed, intimate text message or in your marriage can really just inject some sexual energy that your marriage might really be needing. Now, without getting into too much detail, you could say something like, "Let's make tonight all about you," or "Let's have some fun after work," wink, wink, and then just a little winking emoji. Or maybe, "This morning was so much fun. When can I do that again to you?" All right, clearly the possibilities here are endless. Those are just a few examples. So, make sure that you get a little more descriptive in whatever text you send your spouse, but do try this out and you'll be thankful you did, and so will your partner. All right, the fourth kind of text is what I like to call the humor text. Laughter is often described as the most powerful aphrodisiac out there. And when you've been with someone for so long, often you can kind of just forget about that. I mean, like I said, remember when we were first dating and passionately in love in that honeymoon phase? You would do whatever you could to make your spouse smile and laugh. And maybe you still do. But texting is one of the easiest ways to accomplish this. And it's one of the best ways to do this. And you just need to send them, even a funny picture, a meme, a GIF, copy and paste, your favorite joke, and send it to your spouse. There's even like those, animated GIF keyboards that you can send your spouse some funny clips, stuff like that. Instagram and Reddit are great time wasters and resources to find funny memes, that kind of thing that your spouse and you are both going to enjoy. This kind of joking around, sending this kind of message is really effective, especially when your spouse is having a tough day or a tough week or whatever. So do whatever you can. Just make sure you give your significant other during those times the kind of humorous love and attention that they deserve. Just send them a text and make them laugh. All right, and number 5, the last kind of text. This is probably the most important one, but only should be used in the right situation. I call it the apology text. Now, of course, arguments and disagreements are inevitable in any marriage, but it's how you handle your conflicts that define how strong your bond is going to be moving forward. And one of the most difficult things to do during conflict with your spouse is to apologize when you know you're wrong. Now, usually apologies need to happen in person, ideally, but sometimes when it comes to just little arguments, sometimes a simple text can do the trick. So you could just say something like, "I'm sorry, you were right last night," or "I'm sorry about the night before last. Can I make it up to you later?" Or even, how about "It was my fault we fought last night. I'll always keep trying to make sure we have a solid understanding between you and I. I'm sorry." Overall, apologizing in a marriage can be one of the most difficult things to do, especially if you're really a person with a lot of pride. But it takes a lot of intellectual honesty and a lot of courage to admit that you're wrong. And this is one of the most powerful and attractive things that you can actually do in your marriage. All right, so that is about it for today. 5 messages that you can send to definitely help improve your marriage right now. And of course, if you want to learn more subtle psychological ways to make sure that your spouse stays infatuated and stays in love with you, head over to my website, marriageguy.com, and watch my free full video presentation on there. Marriageguy.com. Head over there right now, and you want to watch that full video as soon as you can. All right, again, that is it. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll talk to you guys again soon.